Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Scholarship Secrets for Seniors. I am so happy for everyone joining in tonight. We're just going to give it a few more seconds for some more to join on, and we'll get started. This webinar is being recorded and will be posted on our YouTube. So if you have any questions or need to refer back to it, you can find it on our YouTube channel, the National Society of High School Scholars. I will also post in our chat contact information as well as our website where you can find the recording if you have any issues, and my email address if you have any questions that we may not be able to get to today. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So first, I'd like to introduce myself, and then my panelists will also introduce themselves, and then I will pull up a brief PowerPoint that we will run through, and then I also have several questions for our panelists, and then we'll conduct Q&A at the end. So to start off, I am Alexis Adams. I am the Scholarship Administrator for the National Society of High School Scholars. I just recently attended our member event at Texas A&M and spoke to a lot of our members and conducted our ceremony. Loved that, and I'm excited to be here with you all tonight. TJ, you may go next.
Hey everyone, as Alexis said, I prefer to go by TJ. I am an alumni of Georgia State University. I work there as a retention coordinator for the Success Academy program, and I'm excited to be here, so yeah.
All right, Lauren.
Hi, my name is Lauren Forney. I'm from Houston, Texas. I am a first-year health science major at Spelman College, and I am so excited to be here.
And lastly, Emmy.
Hi, everyone. My name is Emmy Janes. I'm a sophomore at Oglethorpe University in Atlanta, Georgia, majoring in psychology with a minor in Spanish as well. So good to see you all.
Okay, let's go ahead and run this PowerPoint. And like I said, we'll follow with questions for our panelists. Okay. Okay, great. So first off, let's start with when should you apply? This webinar is not strictly, but targeted toward our seniors in high school. And so if you are a senior in high school, I would hope that you all have at least applied to one scholarship. And if you haven't, that is completely okay. The National Society of High School Scholars has several scholarships currently open for seniors, such as our Class Nobel Future Female, which closes March 15th, as well as our STEAM, mental health, and plenty of more. So fall of senior year, we're now in our spring of senior year. But this is also applies. You should be applying to as many scholarships as you can. If you have not heard back from any of your top choices for college or university, do not get discouraged. Continue to apply to other schools as well and finalize those essays for scholarships, because there are plenty out there. You want to receive as much scholarship money as you can. Oh, hold on, guys. My computer froze. Okay. which is fine. I can go straight off talking because the PowerPoint did freeze. No worries there. Next, we can talk about what can help your scholarship essay stand out. A lot of times we'll see that students do not stick to the topic. Several scholarships are general with broad information. They'll give you that basic, tell me about yourself, or tell me why you want to go to this school, or tell me why you're deserving. I think a good basic is to start off with a general essay that you can apply to multiple scholarships with a few tweaks and edits, but also be authentic. I know we probably all have heard the advice of do not tell a sob story, and that is completely true. But everyone is a unique individual who does have a story to tell. And as a scholarship reviewer, I would love to know your history, what makes you you, your personality, and that can really come out through your writing. Next, I would say always have 2 to 3 people review your essay. As a scholarship reviewer, I also check for grammar and mechanics, and I cannot tell you all how many times I've read an essay with lowercase i's, or run-on sentences, or incomplete sentences and thoughts. Okay, you want to have someone read your essay, and if you're like me, when I was in high school, I thought I knew it all, and I wouldn't want to have anyone read it. And if that's you, Grammarly will be your best friend. If you have not heard of it, it's Grammarly.com, and it checks for plagiarism and grammar and mechanics, and it will literally be your best friend. It also helps with general synonyms and things that can enhance your confidence in your writing. So I highly suggest that as well, because grammar and mechanics is a big part in our scholarship review process. Next, recommendation do or don'ts. Specifically for the National Society of High School Scholarships, the applications now begin where you have to request a recommendation letter from your educator first, because there are times when your educators will forget and you are not able to submit your application in time because your educator did not meet their deadline. So you want to ask first. Always let your educator know as well that you are asking for a recommendation so they can prepare. At least ask 3 or 4 weeks in advance because teachers are busy. Your recommendation letter does not always have to be a teacher. It can be a counselor, a principal, your coach, or even someone in your community, such as your pastor, or if you have a part-time or full-time job, not full-time, part-time job, your boss or a coworker, anyone other than your parents or peers, okay? Also, ask a teacher that has a good relationship with you. We don't want to receive a recommendation letter that only has 2 sentences, or they're not able to express a lot about you because they simply don't know you well enough. As someone that you have created a relationship with throughout your high school years, someone who has a little bit of information about you prior to, and sometimes educators will ask you to provide them a list of things such as what hobbies and sports you have participated in, what are your special interests, what are the top schools that you're interested in, and possible majors. Next, creating that academic student resume. Not everyone has had a job, and that's completely okay because a resume can include some of the things as well. You want to include your contact information. If you are a senior in high school, please do not apply to any of the scholarships with your student email address, because what will happen, we'll award scholarships and you will no longer be able to access that email address. You want to use a personal Gmail, Yahoo account where we can contact you at any time so we can notify you of your award. Next, you want to put maybe some of the classes you have performed really well in. If you're taking any IB or AP classes, you may put that as well. You may also put any volunteer hours and leadership responsibilities that you have had. I was senior class president and school president in high school, and I gladly put that on my resume. I also put things such as, I completed 150 volunteer hours, and these are the things that I've done with those hours, and such as, maybe you volunteered at your church or at a children's hospital, different things such as that. You may also put that if you played a sport for the last 4 years, you started off on junior varsity and made it to varsity, and you won such award in leadership or academics as well, such as being a student athlete. You can include anything on your student academic resume. If you have not worked a job, it is completely fine. And it also helps us give a better chance of who you are. Okay, and I think that is it for me. I'm so sorry that my PowerPoint froze, you guys, but that is completely okay. We can go ahead and jump into our panelists. I have a few questions for you all. Starting with Lauren, describe your senior year high school experience.
Okay, so I would say that my senior year high school experience, I kind of remember it being like stressful because with different senior activities like prom, senior photos, like different events going on, that all played a part into like before you graduate. And also during this time, you're worried about applications and like if you're going to get in and where you're going to apply and how many your schools you're going to apply to. Also, I think during my senior year, I was really just focused on not only the schools I was going to, but how like we were going to pay for it. And my parents really did a good job to like make sure I wasn't worried, but they didn't bring anything, like they didn't say anything about it, but I still was like, okay, this is expensive. I do go to Spelman College in Atlanta, Georgia, and it is very expensive. So I was really thinking about that, but I just feel that my senior year, it was fun, but it was also pretty hectic with all the senior activities that were going on.
Nice. Okay, Emmy, do you have anything to chime in on your senior high school experience?
Yes, definitely. And I think I can add on some, like the immigrant perspective. If you're an international student as well, senior year in high school can be challenging as well. Many things including, like for me specifically was the language barrier. If you're learning English as a second language can be challenging. And also if you're seeking higher education in the US, I remember that was my main thing when I was in high school. I even thought that I wasn't going to be able to go to college because that's something that you sometimes think about if you're going to get into your college, your dream is college, but things work out for me. So I go to Oglethorpe University here in Atlanta, Georgia, and maybe if you're a senior, maybe you're a junior, but most of you guys, I think you're seniors. Let me tell you that there's a high probability that you guys will go to college. You just have to work really hard for it. And something that I regret in not doing in my senior year was not applying for small scholarships. I remember seeing, like $500 or $1,000 or maybe less amount of scholarships. And I was like, no, this is not worth it, the time. So when you get into college, you see that you have to pay for books, you have to pay for many expenses that sometimes they're unexpected. But those scholarships, those really small scholarships, they can help you out throughout the way. So yeah, basically that was pretty much for me my senior year.
Nice. Okay, moving on. And any one of you all can answer first. How many colleges did you apply to?
I can go first. I think I applied to about, let's say about 10 schools, and I live in Texas, and I didn't apply to any schools in Texas. I knew that I specifically wanted to go to HBCUs, so I applied to around 10 HBCUs.
Great. And me?
So in my case, it was kind of the opposite of Lauren. I applied just in state because I just wanted to stay here in Georgia, but 8 or 9 colleges.
Okay, 8 or 9. Thaddeus, what about you?
Wow, you guys are all overachievers. I applied to, I think 3 colleges. I had my top 3. It was Georgia State, University of North Georgia, and Armstrong, which was kind of local in Savannah where I was. So I just applied to those three. I mean, I got in all three. And
Okay.
then so yeah, you guys did y'all things, but me, I was trying to kind of have fun my senior year. So I was just like three, and that's really it. So yeah.
Okay. What is one thing you wish you would have done before your high school graduation?
I would say I can go first. I would say honestly, kind of like just study more for the SAT. Um, I don't think I really put as much emphasis on preparing for that as I should have. So I think before I graduated, that's what I should have did.
Okay.
Um, to piggyback off of TJ, I agree. The SAT was like ridiculous for me, and I did study, but it's so hard to increase your score like by a lot. So I would say that, but for my academic year, it was test optional. So the time I spent on studying for sure wasn't a lot. So I would say do that. And also, I had a lot of fun my senior year, but I think I could have done like even more right before I was going to go into my freshman year of college.
Okay. Emmy?
In my case, I graduated in 2021. So one of the things that I regret not doing was spending more time with my friends because everything was virtual and everything was online. It was kind of a disconnection. So I didn't make sure to spend time with my friends back in high school, but I have friends here at Oglethorpe, so it's good. But yeah, that's one thing that I regret. And the other thing, maybe it's not doing a lot of volunteer time. That's one of the things that I was lacking on my application. So you guys are still on time. If you're seniors, you guys can still do some volunteer time and something that you guys like to do. Something maybe in a animal shelter or maybe going somewhere doing a volunteer time. It is great also during your senior year.
Great. I'll also chime in on Emmy with volunteering. That's another question that we typically get at the National Society of High School Scholars. You know, sometimes people live in small communities and there may not be a lot of volunteer opportunities for you. And I can also say that there are some online. So if that applies to you, that maybe you live somewhere that doesn't offer a ton of opportunities for volunteering, try looking online. Sometimes you can volunteer with things online, and that's just our reality now. All right, this question is specifically for TJ. How do you assist in helping freshmen transition into college?
Okay, so anybody on here that wants to go to Georgia State, how we kind of do it. So we kind of have two pools, you can say, of freshman applicants. We have just the normal applicants that start in the fall. And then we have those students who start in the summer in what we call Success Academy. And so what we do to prepare them for the start of the fall semester, we start off with, of course, what we call First Friday. So that's kind of like a big block party for the students. Then we lead that going into just a day where we just kind of go over everything GSU, from pause to email to advisors to the map of campus, police, just any resource that a freshman would need. We go over it, make sure they have it down packed. And so what Georgia State focuses on with their freshmen as a whole, whether you start in the summer or the fall, is what we call GSU 1010 or freshman learning class. And there's a big emphasis around this class. This class is built off what Georgia State calls FLCs, freshman learning communities. And those learning communities are centered around what they call meta majors. And I know throwing these terms around, it's just a group of students. Say if you're a bio major and then you're with the bio majors. Econ majors, business majors are with each other, and they just group it up like that. So you are around like-minded students who can give you assist in your success at Georgia State. I would say between the summer program and GSU 1010, both of those combined, and then Of course, GSU 1010 in the fall as well is what we kind of do to get every student ready for college. And in GSU 1010, we just go over that's the fundamentals of college. So yeah.
So for everyone who's maybe a little confused on what GSU 1010 is and you didn't get the gist of that, that's just typically a freshman orientation. If you go to a larger university and you are starting off as a freshman, you'll take something such as freshman orientation that would typically count for 1 credit. And you'll just go over how you can navigate the campus, how you make friends, how do you budget, what if you want an on-campus job, what if you are just really overwhelmed and maybe you need to go see one of the counselors? That just offers a lot of resources and it's kind of like a seminar class. You'll spend most of it talking, maybe doing brief projects around campus, and they kind of help you build a community with your class and let those people and those peers be your first friends. So
Yeah.
it doesn't just apply to Georgia State, but a lot of larger universities offer it as well. So if you are applying to big universities, that is something that you should maybe keep in mind that you apply and also register for, because I took GSU 1010 because I did graduate from Georgia State University and I loved it. So
Yes, perfect.
going. All right. What is one tip you would offer for the seniors we have on tonight? One tip, if you could tell them to take away something, what is the one thing that they need to know?
I would
go first.
Oh, you can go. You can go.
Okay, sorry. I honestly will say that well, right now you guys probably have applied to colleges and maybe you're getting some responses, but in regards to scholarships now, please don't wait until the last day to submit your application. Because what happens is, especially at NSHSS or some other, organizations, is that when you wait until the last minute to submit your application, sometimes there's a tech difficulty or there's a tech issue going on and you're not able to submit your application. And maybe it will be a good application, maybe it was a good essay, a good resume, but you didn't do it on time. So just take that precaution, just do it at, maybe weeks before or few days before of the deadline, but please don't wait until the last minute to submit your application.
Well, the one thing I'd say is kind of the same thing that Emmy was saying with the deadlines. Like, let's say that the application is due January 1st. You should have your information already ready to just submit the application. So you never know. Let's say it opens January 1st and it's due January 31st. Or they may be looking at your application already and you may have a greater chance of getting the application if you submit it earlier instead of waiting to the last minute. And also it kind of shows a little bit about your character. Do you procrastinate? Are you willing to turn things, like, are you an overachiever? So I believe that getting it turned in on time is very crucial to your acceptance. And I'd also say that don't get discouraged if you see, oh, you didn't get it, because you will get that congratulations. And I know for a fact that I got a lot of declines, then I got those congratulations. And I feel like you can never fill out too many scholarships. So just keep filling them out and you will get a congratulations eventually. So I would say just don't give up and just continuously fill out scholarships.
To add to what the ladies were saying, I would just say use your resources. I think that you reach the end of high school, and I think that's a mountain in itself. And then it's like, okay, and then everybody's telling you got to climb the mountain of starting college. And I think looking up at just how big that mountain is, even starting with applications, can be a little, I guess, daunting to some people. I know even me as a senior, it was daunting to me as well. How am I going to transition? So I just say use your resources. Parents, older siblings, counselors, teachers, whoever that you can go to offer you that aid, so you don't have to feel like you have to take it on by yourself. And I think you'll do great.
That is some great advice for everyone. I'll chime in on Emmy and Lauren's response. Yes, please do not wait until the last minute, the deadline. A lot of times, specifically, if you're applying to NSHSS scholarships, when that deadline time approaches, the website will crash because there are so many people as well trying to apply to the scholarships. And multiple scholarships close on the same day. And scholarships receive hundreds of applicants. So if you're waiting till March 15th, 11:58 to submit your application, there's a great chance that it may crash and you may not be able to submit it. So always apply at least a week before, like actually submitting. I think that is a great time in advance to submit, that you know you won't have any technical issues, and then it just gives you a great sense of relief that you did it and that you are okay. As well as what Lauren said, as well with the deadline, and as well as just applying to multiple. You can never not apply to too many, because the worst thing you can hear back is no. And one time you will receive a congratulations, hopefully multiple, because you'll keep applying. At the National Society of High School Scholars, you can receive one scholarship per academic calendar year. So let's say that you win one in November, you are not eligible to receive one until the following year, which will be January. It won't be until November of next year. It will be January. You'll be able to start applying and receiving other applications and scholarships. Lauren, Emmy, can you describe the scholarships that you all have won and the application process?
So I recently got the Thurgood Marshall. Well, first off, for the NSHSS scholarship, I got the activism and advocacy scholarship. Let me acknowledge that first. Secondly, I got the Thurgood Marshall scholarship, and I wanted to talk about that one because it's renewable, meaning that it rolls over to each academic year. A significant amount of my scholarships are one-time use. So let's say it's $500, I can use that for the spring semester, but it doesn't keep rolling over, meaning that I can't keep using that money over and over again. So I really do advise people to try to find scholarships that are renewable as well. It can be kind of hard, but I did want to highlight the Thurgood Marshall because it is renewable. And also, it did ask for an essay, which is not bad. I did want to say, whenever you're filling out essays specifically for scholarships, make sure that you're answering the question, because I have been told before and advised by my mom as well that if you're not answering the question, they just kind of put your application to the side. So I just wanted to add that onto there. But yes, so the Thurgood Marshall one, I wanted to point that out because it's renewable.
Okay, in my case, about the scholarship that I won through NSHSS, it was the Mental Health Awareness Scholarship. I'm a psych major at Oglethorpe University, so I had that foundation there for me. And also, specifically, overall in my essay spoke about COVID-19 and how impactful was that for my mental health. So just, I think I was being really maybe general about my essay, but I made some points there that were unique for me. So even though you make you maybe make an effort, you start writing about something that is general, but you make personal points, or you make something that is relevant for you, that can make a difference. So don't be afraid if you're making your essay and you're writing and you don't know what to do. Just go with something that you lived, maybe an experience or something that you can start off with. And from then on, you can start adding things. And of course, you just ask somebody to review your essay, just like Alexis said before submitting your application. I have different scholarships as well. I have private scholarships here at Oglethorpe. This is a private university, so they usually give out scholarships. I don't qualify for FAFSA, so I'm always looking for scholarships. So if you don't qualify for FAFSA and you're listening to this, there's always a way to pay for tuition. So don't be afraid. NSHSS has a lot of resources. One of the renewable scholarships that I have is through a Latino Hispanic organization. So if you're Black, if you're Asian, if you're Latino, Hispanic, you can apply for many scholarships depending on that. So you have a lot of opportunities out there as well.
It was great. I think that Amy made a great point, because sometimes you won't qualify for FAFSA. You know, sometimes your parents may make too much money and you don't receive as much funding as you hoped for the university you would like to attend. Or in her case, you could be an immigrant. There are plenty of scholarships and grants for people out there. And other than the National Society of High School Scholars, there are other search engines that you may use, such as Niche and scholarship.com, and even the Coca-Cola Foundation and Home Depot. They also offer a lot of great scholarships. I also like that Lauren highlighted a renewable scholarship. Those are great, because once you receive it once, you are able to retain it for all 4 years or however long you are in school. The National Society also offers one renewable scholarship. It is through the Abercrombie and Fitch Foundation, and it is for $1,800 for 4 years. I think that is a very great one to apply to. And if you haven't already, definitely consider it. It will open very shortly in about 2 to 3 weeks. So be on the lookout for it, because that is one of our popular ones. All right, we just have one more question and we'll get into the Q&A. And this is open for all of you all. What are some of the biggest differences between high school and college?
I can start,
Okay.
because this is a really good question. So I always tell people that college, so in high school, I had 7 classes. Like, I started at 7 a.m., got back home around 3:30. So I had back-to-back. In college, I have less classes, but I have more time. So you have more time to procrastinate. There's something due at the end of the month for me. And I mean, there's something due on April 1st. I'm like, okay, it's March 7th. I have all this time. Now I need to start this weekend because I feel like we have less classes in college, but we have way more time than we did in high school. We had more classes in high school, but it was back to back to back, and we had a schedule. When to eat, when to do this, when to do this. But in college, everything's on your own, and you just have to have time management before you leave for college. I think time management is the biggest thing that you need to have here, because it's going to be really hard if you don't have really good time management skills. When to have fun, when to do your homework, when to study, when to get this assignment turned in. And I'd also say that I'm pretty sure in high school, for me, I had a counselor who made my whole schedule. All I had to tell them was, this is the classes I want to take for this year. And then they made the schedule. They put me in the classes. That was that. In college, you make your own schedule. We have advisors, but they're really just there to say you're taking enough credits and you're also, doing the classes that you're supposed to for your specific major. Other than that, you have to choose your own classes, what time works for you, and just have to figure it out on your own, which is kind of stressful, because in high school, I feel like a lot of things were done for me. So I think that the independence went up a lot. So I would say time management skills and just being more independent has been a true difference from high school to college.
That was a great answer.
For me, I think it was communication, because sometimes when you're in college, you think that professors are the same as teachers in high school. So it is a complete different relationship. So when you go into college, you will see that everyone else behaves differently, because I think it's a different level, of course, but everything is just different. People leave in class, and I have never seen that when I was in high school. Everybody has to take permission, or the parents to pick them up. You can leave class. I was surprised by that. You can just go to the bathroom and don't ask the professor. You just stand up and leave. So there are many things related with independence, and if you want to stay in the class or not. But many things related to that. You will see maybe the consequences of leaving earlier. Maybe you will miss something. Maybe if you don't make friends in that classroom, sometimes if you're really introvert like me, you at least have to make one friend in each class. So if you miss something, you have to catch up, because most of the time professors, they don't give out like extensions. Some of them they do, but most of them they don't give out this extensions. So just keep in mind that, and just take care of your mental health. Definitely, because something that when you're in high school, you have maybe your parents, maybe your guardian there for you. But if you're going to a different state, or maybe you're living by your own, you have to take care of your mental health. So definitely, if you need that, most of the colleges and universities here in the US, they offer counseling services. So please, 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 I cannot tell this enough. If you need to go and make an appointment at your counseling center, just do it. And take that time for yourself. And of course, another thing, like Lauren mentioned, was procrastinating stuff. You just think and you just leave things to do at the last minute. Don't do that. Start doing it as soon as you can, so you can finish on time and don't be late.
Great. TJ, do you have anything to weigh in?
I feel like they said it all. They said really great things. I would just say the difference. College is just like a work vacation. So they kind of said it all. It's like you just have to. I mean, yes, have fun, live life, but you have to get your work done, and it's just a different structure in college. I mean, in college than it is high school. You are your principal, administrator, and teacher, so you just have to act accordingly. So.
Okay, great. So I did want to give out a few more tips and pointers for our seniors online today, because we do have some scholarships closing, and I'm going to share some secrets with you all. So if you are interested in applying to some of our scholarships that are currently open right now, I'm going to give you some great ones that I think that you all should apply to, because they do not have many applicants. And when a scholarship does not have many applicants, that increases your chance of receiving it. Okay, if you are a high school senior female, the Class Nobel Future Female Leadership Scholarship is a great one to apply to. It closes on March 15th, and it is under 200 applicants. So keep that one in mind. Our NSHSS Foundation Earth Day Awards, that one has 10 winners, you all. The more amount of winners, the more chance of you winning as well. That one has, I'm not going to tell you the number, but it's not that many. And I think that you all should take advantage of that one. That is open to seniors with at least a 3.0. Okay. Like Emmy, she won our NSHSS Mental Health Awareness Scholarship last year. I had a pleasure of reading her essay. That one has 5 winners, and it closes March 24th. That one is currently open to high school juniors and seniors, and I think and college students as well. And typically a lot of juniors do not apply to this. It's mainly seniors and college students. And I think that you all will make good competitors. Next is our STEAM scholarship. It closes March 30th. That one has 10 winners for $1,000. Okay. Also a great chance to win. And lastly, our research and academic paper scholarship. That one has 50 winners, you all. And that one typically does reach over our like one of our most popular scholarships. But if you apply early, like suggested, you have a great chance of beating out those students who wait to the last minute, who may not be able to submit their application in time before the deadline. So those are my secrets of what you should apply to. One more pointer for you all when applying to scholarships is specifically the National Society of High School Scholarships. Optional is not optional. So on our application process, we have where you can, the option to upload any pictures of your certificates, pictures of you doing any community service. That is highly encouraged, you all. I love to see pictures of you in the field, at school, participating at the sports event, working the concession stand, or you're a Girl Scout or a Cub Scout and you are outside selling cookies. You have a certification in CPR, upload those things, because those things matter and they can count and hold a lot of weight, because sometimes it gets really competitive. You're down to 5 winners with 500 applications. How are you going to stand out? You're going to stand out by uploading those things that are optional, but not optional. Okay, you want to include everything that you can to make yourself stand out, because sometimes you may not have the most perfect essay or the most perfect resume, but something about you is unique and can stand out, and you want to make sure you express that in your full application. So that is one of my last pointers and secrets for tonight. Upload as much as you can. All right, now we're going to go ahead and jump into our Q&A. Okay, first, what recommendations do you have to seek scholarships that will cover room and board and fees? Also scholarships basically beyond tuition. So our scholarships do not just cover tuition, they also cover room and board. Now, they do not cover expense fees, but typically, depending on the university, once you have something that covers tuition and room and board, you don't really have that much expenses left. And so I would say apply to some that are renewable, but also apply to ours because they do cover room and board as well. Okay, are most of NSHSS scholarships for 1 year or 4 years? Most of our scholarships are for 1 year. Like I said, we only have one scholarship that is for 4 years. That is with our Abercrombie and Fitch, and that one will open in a few weeks, so stay tuned. That is another one that not typically a lot of people take advantage of, but you can be the first. The name of the female scholarship, again, is the Class Nobel Future Female Leadership Scholarship, and that closes March 15th. I am not able to post these scholarships in the chat because there's just too many, you all. So you may go to nshss.org and go to our scholarships page, and you can see all the scholarships we offer that you are eligible for. Okay, someone said, I am stressing out trying to complete as many scholarships and grants as I can, but how long can I apply? Are they offered year round, and are my options limited as a college freshman? Does anyone want to answer this as far as are your options limited as a college freshman? I know, Lauren, you are a freshman right now, and Emmy, you are a sophomore. What do you all think? Do you all have options for scholarships, or do you all feel like it's a little limited?
So I definitely don't think it's limited. I'm still trying to find scholarships as a freshman, and I still am getting scholarship as a freshman. Just take it one day at a time. I know that it can be stressful. Also, I'm not sure like your support system, but my parents are very, very helpful with me. I really do believe that it's like a family affair. It's a family thing. You need help to look for them. You need help with certain things, people to proofread your essays. So I would also say like or if you have a college counselor or your high school counselor, if you're a senior in high school, to help you out with these, looking for them, even asking and going to your college counselor and asking, hi, do you have any scholarships, or asking them to think of you whenever they do see a scholarship. That can help you take like kind of a weight off your shoulder if other people are looking for scholarships for you. But as a college freshman, it is not limited. I don't know when it's going to stop. It's going to get harder, but I think that as I keep going through college, I'm just going to keep finding more and more. There's literally scholarships for almost anything. So I definitely don't think it's limited as a college freshman.
Adding on to Lauren's point, yes, that is so true. I'm a college sophomore, so for one moment I thought that the possibilities will be reduced once I be like, a sophomore or maybe a junior in college, but it is totally the opposite. Even though if you go into the NSHSS website and you click on scholarships, most of the scholarships that we have, they are open to college students. So you can apply for most of them. And now that you're a college senior, I think most of them, they're open to college for high school seniors as well. So you have a lot of opportunities, and don't worry if you don't get one. Like we were saying before, you're gonna get a lot of thumbs down sometimes, but just keep applying. And also, you can also reach out to some organizations, like educational organizations in your community. So you can apply for renewable scholarships, or maybe they have any like funds so they can help you paying for tuition. So there are always ways and resources for you out there.
Great answers. Okay, I have someone just asking if this webinar is being recorded. It is being recorded. You all, it will be posted tomorrow or later on this week on our YouTube channel. That is NSHSS. Okay. Someone said, I am a sophomore. Can I start applying for scholarships? Absolutely. As a sophomore, it is never too early to begin applying for scholarships. You want to get a head start because you want to be able to apply to as many as you can before you graduate high school. The NSHSS website does have scholarships available for sophomores. Let me see if I can be able to tell you at least one off the top of my head. Oh, perfect. The NSHSS Research and Academic Paper Scholarship is currently open to high school sophomores, juniors, and seniors. Like I said, that is one of our main popular scholarships. So if you do and are interested in applying to that scholarship, I would say get a head start. Another one open for sophomores is our FEE, FEE. That one is also open to sophomores currently. And the Future Educator Scholarship. That one is new and it's open to all levels of high school students. And you are able to briefly describe if you are interested in any career in education. And I think that is another great one. And if you have any more questions as far as like your sophomore and what scholarships you can apply to, you can go to our website and you can look under eligibility requirements. Okay, someone said, would any of you suggest using College Board, Khan Academy's SAT practice, or invest in something more?
What I used was College Board SAT practice. I remember that was heavily, because my high school heavily pushed that, so I used that. And then I used Khan Academy like once or twice, but it was really the College Board like practices because my school really pushed us to do that. Also, when you mean go into like invest in something more, like what do you mean?
I think they mean maybe a different SAT practice, or maybe you're like buying one of those books and doing one-on-one tutorials such as that.
Yes, you could do that too. I did meet with my tutor a couple times, and we did past SAT tests that were released, and we practiced problems from that. So I did have a tutor as well. So if you wanted to do that, you could as well.
Okay.
In my case, I personally didn't use the College Board resources, but I did use Khan Academy, and I still use Khan Academy sometimes. And I think one of my friends here at Oglethorpe, he is a computer science major and he's a senior and he still uses Khan Academy as well in college. So those are resources that in the long run, they'll be there for you. I usually don't pay for them until they're necessary. There is one resource that I use is Quizlet. It's basically for you to create flashcards, and it's a great source for you to, like study and be ready for an exam. In most of your college classes, there are going to be a lot of key terms or maybe concepts that you have to memorize. Maybe you're using it now in high school, but Quizlet is a good source as well.
Okay. Thank you, Emmy and Lauren. Okay. Someone said, how do you navigate between scholarships that are real and ones that might be fake? Does anyone want to answer? Okay.
I'll just say something really quickly.
Okay.
If the scholarship is asking you to pay them money, it's probably not real, because you shouldn't have to pay a fee to apply for their scholarship, because that's never happened to me. So if they're asking you to pay them a $50 fee to just apply, that's probably not real. And they shouldn't be asking you for any super personal information. And that's probably not real. If they're asking you for really, really personal, like your identity, like things like that, then it's probably not real. So those are just my 2 tips.
Those are great tips.
Yeah, so Lauren nailed it. Basically, yes, that's basically what I was going to say, that if they're asking you for personal information, maybe like your social security number, your driver's license, something really personal, please don't put those out there, because basically, you know what's going on with scams, and you don't have to do that. So again, if they're asking you for personal information, please avoid. And also sometimes you get some messages in your inbox, so on your email, or maybe, I don't think school email, but probably if you have a Gmail account or something and you are looking for scholarships, maybe your information, sometimes it gets filtered and you get a lot of spam. So please be mindful when you go into those websites. They should have like the little lock on the top of the website, so you know it's a secure website for you to apply. But again, just make sure that it's an organization, it's legitimate. NSHSS, for example, we have a Better Business Bureau categories, so you can look it up online as well. But many companies and many organizations, they should have one, but you can do your research before applying as well.
To add in, I will also say, if the scholarship is not asking you to fill out a prompt, if they're just asking you to put your name, your high school graduation year, and your GPA, that is not a real scholarship. Okay, they need something other than those key points to award you for something, because then at that point they're just receiving thousands of people, and you know that is not a real scholarship. Okay, moving on. What happens if you win the educator scholarship but then change major, or any scholarship that is really meant for any given major but then change majors? So for the future educator scholarship particularly, that one you don't have to necessarily commit right at that moment that you are going to major in something with education. I went to school at Georgia State University and had tons of friends who came into school with one major, and by their sophomore, senior year, they were something completely different, and that's okay. I would say that if you just have a passion of some sort for education, so maybe you've always really enjoyed spending time with kids. For example, TJ is someone who has always enjoyed and worked with kids of some sort, but he was not an education major. If you're able to just articulate that in a way where it is very compelling and a great story, I think you'll have a great chance. But you do not have to major in something such as elementary education or some sort. Okay. And what is an estimation of how many scholarships you apply for yearly or your senior year? Were you batching the applications, or did you do this weekly? Does anyone want to go first?
I would say 5 to, well, let's say 3 to 4 a week. Let's try to do 3 to 4 a week. If that's not realistic for your schedule, for if you're like a high school senior, everyone should be. If that's not realistic, let's say make a goal to just try to do 2 a week at least. Then keep increasing how many you're applying for each week, because you can apply for hundreds. Like, I know for me personally, my personal experience, let's say I applied to 100 and I only got 15 or even less than 15. It's kind of like they have so many applicants, and it's you can never apply for too many. So I'd say try to start with applying for 2 to 3 each week, and then increase your number based on your schedule.
In my case, because I was really busy because I was doing a part-time job. I was going to I was really busy back in high school. A few moments just to like lay down and breathe and everything. So I did it like twice a week. You know, I sat down for like 3-4 hours and start applying for scholarships. And sometimes I didn't, early morning, I had to wake up and, start applying, but it's a sacrifice that you have to do. And just remember, it's just, you can do it on your senior, you can start even in your sophomore year of high school, when you're a junior and you're a senior as well. But just think about when you're in college, you can still apply for scholarships. So it's not the end of the world if you don't get a lot of them when you're a high school senior. You still have possibilities in the long run.
Okay, great. I think we have one more time for one more question and then one more tip for me. Someone said, I missed the part about sending pictures or what's optional but not optional when applying for scholarships. Sure thing. I was just saying that the more information and content you add to your application, the better the chances are that you'll stand out against any competitors. So for example, every application for the National Society of High School Scholars scholarships include an optional category where you may upload any pictures of you at school or doing volunteer service or doing some type of sport or maybe any leadership responsibility. A lot of people will upload if they are like CPR certified or did completed 100, a certain amount of volunteer hours and were awarded for that by their community or county or even school. Some people will upload that they passed all 4 AP exams, something that just helps you stand out against the hundreds of applications that may come in for the scholarship that you're applying to, because you do want to be unique and you do want a great chance of receiving that $1,000 or $2,000, or if you do our Abercrombie and Fitch, $1,800, or our James W. Lewis Global Leader, $5,000, or our Be More, that is $10,000. So you just want to be able to stand out in some way. All right, one more question. Does anyone have any advice for personal essays? How did you build the basic personal essay that you may have tweaked and edited for each scholarship you applied to?
In my case, when I was doing the mental health awareness scholarship, I think it was pretty much of brainstorming ideas. It was basically, having different bullet points in my Word document. And I was like, okay, I have these possibilities and I have these things. And I was like, well, it doesn't have to be about just one little thing. You can add up little things, but it has to be like a main thing, like the main topic, right? You have your thesis statement, we call it sometimes. But basically you have to add on things so you make your essay unique, just like Alexis was saying. But you don't have to say just one thing. You can make a whole argument about how this scholarship is important to you and how this has impacted your life in so many ways. But just try to be as specific of some things, because if you're really general about it, it's not going to be unique somehow. So always try to make those bullet points before you start your essay, so you have kind of the idea. Also, when you're writing your essay afterwards, that's what I do personally. I read it out loud. So I hear how it sounds and if it flows and everything. So it gives me an idea if it's a good essay, an average essay. So that, and also, like we were saying, ask somebody to review your essay before submitting it. So that would be a good idea. Yeah.
Okay.
I would also say specifically, when you're doing your essay for the scholarship, I would say make sure that this scholarship you're applying for fits your strengths and passions. Make sure that you really want to do what the scholarship entails. Make sure those requirements are something you're actually interested in. So when you're doing your essay, it's easy to talk about. It's easy to answer the question, so you don't have to fake it. You like this. So I would say do something specifically that you like. I know that I like community service. I like advocacy. I'm like entrepreneur. Specifically community service. I'm very big on community service. So I know for a fact that I like to do that. So it's easy to talk about in my essays. I'd also say to just stay on topic and answer the question well, answer the question directly. I would say that the person who is viewing your application will first just see that you answered the prompt, that you're not veering from the prompt. Just stay on topic and ensure that you're answering their question and not going off track, because it is easy to do so. And the last thing I would say is ensure you stay within the word count. The people who are viewing your applications have thousands of applications to view, so they really don't have time to view your application if the essay word count is over what they asked for, because they kind of see, okay, they weren't able to follow directions. We said it was 250, but they put 350. So I kind of recommend, let's say it's a 250 word count, do 200 or something like that, because you just want to ensure that you're following directions to the T, staying on topic and ensuring the word count is below what they asked for, just to ensure that your application won't kind of get thrown out before you even had a chance. So I would say do that. That's a really big deal.
That is a great point. All of our scholarship prompts require a 300 to 500 word count. Please do not go over that. Okay. Lauren was great for highlighting that. That is extremely important. Stay within the word count. But okay, everyone, that concludes our webinar for tonight. I'm so happy that you all decided to join us this evening. This webinar will be recorded and posted on our YouTube channel. So if you have any questions or want to follow up on anything that we stated, you may go there. Like I said, you may also email me if you have any questions about anything that we discussed tonight or have any follow-up questions in the scholarships that I may have mentioned. Once again, my email address is alexis.adams@nshss.org, and it is in the chat. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you for joining.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.